So today we got to talk about a major leak that just hit the internet that suggests that Goldeneye could indeed be coming to the Xbox Series systems and the Nintendo Switch, and it may be happening in the next couple of weeks. What's up, Nation? If it's your first time on the channel, make sure you join Sunbro Nation by subscribing below, hit the like button on this video if you enjoy it today, and make sure you turn on your bell notification icon so you're kept up to date with all the newest gaming news. Now, today is a hype video for me, you guys, because we are talking about 007 Goldeneye. Yes, the classic iteration from the N64 era, and sadly, it has been stuck on the N64 this entire time, despite numerous efforts to bring it to more modern platforms, lastly attempted on the Xbox 360 era with a remake, and it was going to be launched as part of the Xbox Live Arcade, and there was even a nice toggle button between the new remastered graphics and the classic graphics so you could play it the way you wanted. Of course, Nintendo and Microsoft and MGM all own a portion of the rights to this game, so there is a lot of red tape to get through in terms of getting a re-release cleared from all parties. And you have to keep in mind that back in 2013, I believe that was the year when this was supposed to launch on the Xbox 360 in terms of the remaster, Nintendo and Microsoft had a very different relationship than they do now, where we see games like Banjo-Kazooie launch on the Nintendo Switch Online service, which clearly has a Microsoft credit at the end, as they now are the owners of Rareware. So it is a different environment, and there is a big reason it is in the news today, and that is because VentureBeat journalist Jeff Grubb is stating that it could be around the corner in the next couple of weeks, with an official reveal most likely coming from Microsoft first, and then Nintendo would at a later date confirm that it is also coming to the Switch. But to get on the same page with all the information that's out there, let's quickly hop over to VGC, where they have an article typed up with exactly what was said. A Goldeneye 007 remaster could be revealed in the next few weeks, it's claimed. The claim comes amidst increased speculation about the classic game's release. A HD remaster of N64 classic Goldeneye 007 could be revealed as soon as during the next few weeks, it's been claimed. That's according to VentureBeat journalist Jeff Grubb, who stated on his premium Giant Bomb show Grub Snacks, transcribed by VGC, that he believes that Microsoft is likely to announce the revival rather than the original publisher, Nintendo. This matches what one source has recently told VGC. Grubb said, "I think that Microsoft is going to be the one to announce it first." He added, "I think this game is probably coming pretty soon. I'm thinking the next couple of weeks." Goldeneye 007 has infamously been somewhat of a legal nightmare to re-release in the past, with right holders Nintendo, Microsoft, and MGM theoretically all required to approve a new version of the N64 classic. However, 2022 marks the 60th anniversary of the James Bond franchise, leading many to speculate that the most iconic video game in the franchise's history could finally be re-released as part of the celebration. And there is some evidence that this could happen. In January, Rare developers were spotted unlocking Xbox achievements for Goldeneye 007, implying that a previously canceled Xbox 360 remaster could finally be officially released for modern platforms. So a couple reasons I want to share with you all real quick on why I think this is very likely to happen is one of which Jeff Grubb has a notoriously good track record, specifically with Xbox titles, as that seems to be a lot of his inside connections in the industry are primarily on the Microsoft front, and he has leaked numerous Xbox projects before they were officially revealed over the years, including some of Nintendo's. With that, we also had the recent issue in Germany where the game was essentially banned in Germany this entire time for like the last 25 years or 24 years, I believe is the exact time frame, and somebody, most likely at Nintendo, paid to have this game re-reviewed so it could be lifted off of the Germany ban list. And if you guys don't know, the European eShop is based out of Germany, effectively meaning that if this game were to come to a Nintendo console or platform, it could not be released through any kind of eShop or even supported on the NSO app if it was still banned in Germany, meaning all of the European region would not be able to experience this game. So why would you pay to actually have a game re-reviewed a year earlier than it would have been automatically re-reviewed? Because apparently every 25 years these things get checked on either way. Well, you have to pay to get it done early. Why would you do that if you don't have any plans to release the game? I think that's the biggest leak of all of this that suggests that it's coming. And then you just have the added fact that Rare developers actually have their Xbox Live profiles unlocking brand new achievements for a Goldeneye game in 2022. It's like, how much more evidence evidence do we need that something is going on with Goldeneye? I think it's very clear that it will happen. Now we have to discuss how we could see this game released, because obviously if it's coming to the Xbox series of platforms, they could just throw it on Game Pass, and I think they most likely would, and you might not have to buy this in a physical release at all. Maybe it does get a physical release also. I would be all for that, as I would love to own this game physically, but then you have to have the conversation about how Nintendo releases this specifically, because they could very easily throw this on NSO and just make it a high-res version of the N64 game with really no overall texture improvements other than it just looking a lot cleaner, similar to like if you boot up the Banjo-Kazooie version on the N64 and you boot it up on the NSO. Clearly the NSO just looks clean, but it's not necessarily brand new textures or part of like an HD remaster. So do they do that? That's definitely a possibility. I could also see Nintendo releasing this as a standalone title, sold digitally in the eShop and sold physically on a cartridge, because this game has that kind of weight. It was the historical, most enjoyable first-person shooter ever when it was released. The 4-player split-screen multiplayer was like legendary in everybody's book, including my own, and the amount of time that I spent on that game is just unfathomable now, and it would be such a huge thing for gamers that grew up in the N64 era to go back and re-experience, especially with things like modern controls, as the N64 only had one analog, and you could plug in a second N64 controller and get a 2 analog experience, but that was a very strange controller layout. If you ever try to hold 2 N64 controllers with 2 different hands, it definitely feels weird, and I think that the controller addition and some nice enhancements would definitely be wanted for this game, not to mention the fact that they can easily implement online 4-player multiplayer in a game like Goldeneye. I think this game sells fantastically well. It's definitely a gem that has so much nostalgia for users over the course of the years, and everybody has been waiting for this to happen, and it is a perfect year considering, as it was mentioned in the article, that this is the 60th anniversary for the James Bond franchise. So I'm gonna have my eyes and ears open on this one. I want to hear from you guys at this point in the video where your hype levels fall for a re-release of Goldeneye. Specifically, how do you think we see this game launch? Do you think it comes out as part of the NSO library of N64 games, or do you think we get that standalone remaster and it's sold physically and digitally? And who do you think announces this? Do you think it is Microsoft that does indeed drop the ball? I think that makes more sense considering that they directly own Rare, who would be developing this game. Or do you think that maybe Nintendo just surprise Twitter drops it as part of the NSO collection? Or are you somebody who doesn't think that this thing is happening at all? So regardless of where you fall on the issue, I do look forward to hearing from you in the comments down below, as I do look forward to getting a back and forth conversation started with you all around this topic. Make sure you check out yesterday's video if you haven't already, where we talk about the sad reality that Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD absolutely will not be a part of Zelda's 35th anniversary, as that time window has just come and gone. And make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on your bell notification icon, and I will see you guys in the next video.